Thank you. So, all right, per the Madison Public Schools bylaw 9410, this is a board organizational meeting, which is the next regularly scheduled meeting following the election in November. It is to choose the organizational meeting or configuration of the board. A temporary chairperson will be chosen by a majority of those present, which will preside until a successor is elected. So that's the basic agenda tonight. But before we do that, we did a motion to accept the resignation of Katie Stein, former Board of Education member. So moved, Diane. All right, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Emily.
Okay, thank you. Discussion?
I'd like to.
Yep, thank you.
I'd like to thank Katie Stein, as well as the other non-returning Board of Ed members, Violet McNerney, Greg DeSantis, and Tom Pellegrino, for their time, dedication, and service to the town of Madison by serving on our Board of Ed. I can honestly say that I learned from each and every one of them. It takes more time and energy than you think to be a part of this or any board. So I thank all of them for their service and wish them the best of luck, especially to Katie, as she continues to serve the town of Madison on our Board of Finance.
Thank you, Diane. And I'd also like to add that Katie was a great board member. She spent 6 years on the board, poured her heart and soul into it, and will bring her talent and dedication to the town Board of Finance. So she'll be missed. And I'd also like to say that we, because our last regular meeting was rescheduled or canceled due to weather, maybe in the future we can have appropriate time and place to discuss the many contributions that Tom Pellegrino and Violet and Greg DeSantis all made. So thank you for that. Good job. Tip. All right, so Katie, I hope you're out there in the audience listening to all the praise. Anyway, if there's no further discussion, then maybe we can call this to a vote. So all in favor of accepting her resignation? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, motion passes. Our second order of business is I need a motion to approve the appointment of Seth Plasky on the Board of Education, whereas Katie had 6 years of experience. Seth is bringing 12 to the board, so we got a net gain of 6. But at any rate, can I have a motion please to accept Seth? Diane, thank you. Second?
Second.
Emily? All right, and is there any discussion about this?
My day. I'd like to welcome Seth Plaskin, as well as our other new board members, Jennifer Gordon, Marion Connolly, Stephen Cannon, Maureen Hackett-Lewis, to the Board of Ed. We have lots of work to do on the board, and I look forward to getting to know you and working with you toward our common goal of excellence in the Madison Public School. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I think, again, stole my thunder a good way. We have a good group of people, a great board, and Seth will bring a tremendous amount to that. So I'm grateful. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, no abstentions, motion carries. Welcome, Seth.
That's a corner. Yeah.
We had several different name places to switch in there. If that don't, yeah.
Exactly.
Already printed out.
Yes. Okay, so this brings us to the election of the Board of Officers. As referenced, that was bylaw 9410. And at this time, I'd like to call for nominations for a temporary board chair.
Nominate Emily Rosenthal.
Okay, can I have a second on that? please?
Second.
Okay, Kathy. Sorry, Jen, I was a little slow on the mark.
Kathy.
Is there any discussion? All right, I think Emily will have to pry this from my full deputy.
That's fine.
All right, all in favor, and I'll say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations. Emily,
Thank you.
you have the gavel.
All right. Thank you. All right, being the temporary board chairperson, it is now my duty to seek out nominations for the election of the board chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Emily Roosevelt.
Thank you, Diane. I would appreciate that, but I would decline that nomination at this time, but I do appreciate your support, Diane. Thank you. I would then propose nominating Seth Plaskin for the position.
Okay, a little discussion.
Oh.
Sorry,
We-
or do we have a second for that? No? Second?
So now we have discussion.
No discussion.
Thank you.
Fine, great, okay.
Okay,
Well, I just wanted to say that I've worked with Emily now for 2 years on this board, and I found her to be a very professional and fair-minded person. Of the 4 returning members on this Board of Ed, she is one of 2, the other being Callan, with previous executive committee experience. She has most recently served as our secretary. She has a very good working relationship with our other previous executive committee member, Callan, our current chair, as well as with our current superintendent, Dr. Cook. Emily was previously chair of both communications and facilities committees and has good working relationships with both Zoe Roos and Bill McMinn respectively. She was also part of our important school district reopening committee. Emily has shown that she is capable in every area that she's been asked to work in and does so with a calm demeanor that is both professional and patient. I believe she is the obvious choice to chair this board at this time and to act as the Board of Ed spokesperson. Although we haven't always agreed, I know that Emily hears what I have to say and gives it thoughtful consideration. It is so important to have a Board of Ed that has good leadership, one that can bring all parties together to work as a cohesive unit and to get the important work done. And Emily has my full support.
I just want to make sure that everybody heard about your contributions and leadership qualities.
thank you, Diane. Thank you. I truly appreciate your words, Diane, and I think one of my most valuable experience on the board has been getting to know you and to work with Galen and the folks who are no longer on the board with us, and I absolutely appreciate your support, and I look forward to continuing my work, primarily serving as on committees and in other positions as chairing of committees, but I very gratefully and respectfully decline that nomination. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it. Okay, so that being said, I would like to nominate Seth Plaskin for the position of board chairperson. Do the second? Second. Discussion? I would like to say a little bit more about why I'd like to nominate Seth. As you all know, Seth is no stranger to the board. He served 12 years on the Board of Education, and I was fortunate to serve my first 2 years alongside him. He was elected 3 times to serve on the Board of Education, and yesterday he was appointed unanimously by the Board of Selectmen. As anyone who knows Seth or whoever saw him in action, he always puts the needs of our students and our school community first. Seth is particularly well suited for this position at this time, as he has taken on leadership roles in advancing the facilities renewal plan these last 6 years. I know that he is committed to leading our board with collegiality and cooperation as we look ahead to the important work ahead of us.
Comments? I'd also like to make a comment. I enthusiastically second the nomination of Seth Plaskin as the chair of the Madison Board of Education. Seth is more than qualified for this position as he was elected for 3 consecutive 4-year terms to the Madison Board of Education and has now been appointed to the board. Seth brings an abundance of knowledge and experience in all areas of our Board of Education and is a tremendous asset to this team. Seth had a hand in developing the school renewal plan when he served as the Board of Education Facilities Chair until 2 years ago, and he has continued in recent years promoting and educating our community about the merits and crucial need for the school renewal plan. Seth is an outstanding choice to chair the board as we look forward to the critical referendum in February. My children were in the schools during Seth's previous 12-year tenure, and as a Board of Education member, I have always admired Seth's contributions, often in a leadership role. I have every confidence that Seth will effectively serve as chair and continue to contribute to our Madison Board of Education as he always has in a positive, inclusive, consensus-building manner. And Seth will continue to put our Madison students first while always striving for the academic excellence of our school system and promoting the joy of lifelong learning. It is my honor to recommend and nominate Seth Plaskin as our Board of Education Chair today. Thank you.
Comments?
Yeah, I'd also like to say that I'm very happy to have Seth on the board and his abundance of experience, knowledge, his willingness to always put the district first, his commitment to education. I learned a lot from him and very much value, and I'm looking forward to Seth being chair.
So I would like to say something. It's nice to meet you, Seth.
Nice to meet you.
So I have some reservations only because I don't know you. We've never worked together. We've never really met. And it would be nice to have a chair who you know and have worked with and have, that sense of trust and respect that because you work together. And I'm not saying that we won't have that, but I don't know you. And I also have some reservations just based on the fact that in this particular instance, you were appointed and not elected. So that's essentially it.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of second that, only because I'm a new member in the board, and I just feel like I've gotten to know at least a little bit of the other people. I mean, I had one daughter go through here, but that was a long time ago. So I just respectfully feel like somebody who's already on the board, elected to that board, should probably be chairperson, at least to start out.
Hi, Seth. Sorry, I was probably just coming into town as you were exiting your previous tenure on the board. And I do feel some of the same reservations, just in the fact that I haven't been able to experience your time on the board and haven't had a chance to meet you personally. I do think it's important that our voters have a say in who is on our school board. And I also feel that, echoing Diane's statement, that an appointment is a little bit different than an election. I do look forward to working collaboratively with everybody on our board, but I feel I'd be remiss if I did not, just state my reservations.
Sure. Thank you.
And when we look at who should serve as chair of the board, and I haven't known Seth, prior to this point, but I look at who has the greater experience, who has the background and the knowledge and the expertise that is most valuable to what it is that we're doing here. And when I look at his credentials and experience, the conclusion I came to immediately is, that is stand out and the most qualified candidate. He has my support.
I'm still team member.
Any other comments? So hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor of the election of Seth Baskin as board chairperson? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, Seth.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know we're a bipartisan group and we've accomplished great things.
I do appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
Bringing that to me.
Seth gets the golden gavel.
I'll write this on.
You should switch seats.
Yeah, that's right. I need to go to where the paperwork is.
Okay.
Well, thank you all. If I may just take a moment of personal privilege to thank you all and to assure you that I completely understand the concerns that some of you have expressed. And I look forward to getting to know you very well and to working with you productively on the board. And let's move forward as a unit and do it the best we can for the kids and for the school community and for the town. Thank you. All right, so now I have to put my glasses on for the rest of the business. All right, so now the next order of business is to elect a board vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Galen Coe.
I would like to second that.
Okay, and so we have.
Diane.
Yeah, no, I got it. And I understand it's infantile. right?
Yes.
I will try to get that right every time. It's Galen, sorry, just grabbing the form. And okay, discussion? Emily?
I would like to just say a personal thank you to Galen way down there at the end. In particular, the role he's played as the chair for the Board of Ed for the past year plus. He's really stepped up when we needed him most and led very collegially and kindly and with patience through a time that was not easy by any stretch of the imagination, onboarding a new superintendent and through a pandemic and reopening. So I just want to thank Galen for his wonderful service, and I'm fully in support of him continuing in his leadership role as vice chair.
Better than I deserve. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
I'd like to say I second everything Emily just said, even though I wasn't on the board. I have been watching and I've been involved, and I think you've done a great job. And I just want to personally say thank you, Galen. Thank you for serving, and I'm happy to be working with you, and I fully support this nomination.
Thank you.
Anyone else with a comment? Yes, Kathy.
I'd also like to echo what Emily has said. Galen has been quite a model for me as I was learning in the last 2 years and finding my way and navigating this important work. And I think the thing I really admire most about Galen is his very nonpartisan approach to the work and how he just really is an ideal model for a chair. And I just really appreciate everything you've done for our town and for our children. Thank you, Galen.
Any other comments?
Well, as a new person, and meeting Galen over the summer, I guess it was, or a little bit before that, I can only say that he was very, very helpful, and I totally agree with the nonpartisan. You know, he just told us what it was going to be like and what it's about, and he helped us a lot, and I really appreciate that.
Is that everyone, or does anybody else want to say anything? Because I wanted to also say something, but
But you guys
Oh,
have
go
covered it
ahead.
all, so- No, you guys have covered it all. I threw my support behind Galen. You know, anything that you ask him, he has the answer for. It's quite amazing, actually. And he's definitely helping navigate, you know, the first couple of years on the board here. I've learned a lot from him and his even keeled and bipartisan patience, just his mannerisms is just so unifying and helpful for a well-working board.
Just like that, I'm in full support of Galen as vice chair. I appreciated watching him over the course of his tenure as chairperson, and even keeled is probably the ultimate definition of Galen's personality. He never seems battled, always with thoughtful responses and a keen listening ear. And I just echo my support for Galen.
And I would just like to add my support for everything that everyone said. People seem to really have Galen's leadership style and character nailed. Galen, I certainly appreciate all the work we have done together in the past. Overcoming sometimes outside partisan influence and working in a nonpartisan manner on this board, which is the only way for this board to work. I greatly appreciate your modeling that over the past couple of years. When I did occasionally drop in on the Board of Ed meeting online. Thank you so much for leading this district and this board through a very difficult time and through some transition. Thank you. And you have my full support, and I'm very proud to support you for vice chair. All right, if no other comments, can we raise it to a vote? All in favor of Galen for vice chair, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. Unanimous? Okay. Great.
I've seen too many nice things.
All right, and so the next order of business is to call for nominations for the board secretary. Do we have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Ellen Rosenbaum for all the reasons I said before. But I really think you did an outstanding job though as secretary and recently, your most recent stint as secretary. You know, your interactions with the public and everything are just like perfect. Very patient, understanding and polite, respectful. And you do a great job and you work well. Good job.
Thank you. I second that.
I'd like to second that, please.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Emily brings to the board, both in her personality and in her skill and in her insight, precisely what makes the board strong. And she could serve in a variety of positions as evidenced by people's requests for her to serve in a variety of positions. So, I feel we're in the community are very fortunate to have her. It's great to see her on the executive board.
Thank you. Any other comments? Maureen?
I'm delighted to see Emily on the board. She's extremely capable, hardworking, talented. I've loved watching her contributions to the board as a parent in the district, and I've loved getting to know her over the past few months. Her talents are endless, and I'm delighted to work with her on board.
Thank you. Galen?
I'd just like to say thank you, and Emily's an ideal colleague, and every time I interact with her, I come away having learned something and striving for a higher level, thanks to her, because she does things the right way. Makes tremendous contributions, so thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would say more, but I know Emily is absolutely nothing over here.
I think we're good.
So Emily knows how fond I am of her, and I fully support the nomination.
And I would just add, Emily, thank you so much. It has been an honor to serve with you in the past on the board, and I imagine it will be an equal honor to serve with you in the future. And I'm excited to have you join the will be part of the executive committee going forward. Where I know Mayor Galen and I will take on a lot of work and do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, probably working together and moving things forward. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you and support your nomination. Anyone else or? All right, let's bring it to a vote. All those in favor of Emily serving as board secretary, raise your hand, say aye. Okay, no opposition. Congratulations, Emily. That's another 9-0. Okay, so the next order of business is to nominate and elect our 2 capital improvement program members. And just by way of background, it's usually a good idea, and I believe it's always been done this way, but it's usually a good idea to have 1 member of each party represented on the CIP. I think it works well for the board. Do we have any nominations for CIP? Or do I just recommend who needs? Okay, sorry. I appoint and we then vote. Okay. So I would like to appoint Emily and Galen to serve as our CIP representatives. I think they'll do a fantastic job together representing us well. Yeah. So I'd like to call that, well, I'd like to allow any discussion on that, those nominations.
We make motions in a second, or you just?
No, that's appointed but ratified by a vote of the board, so there's no, but you're certainly welcome to give like a nominating type speech or statement.
I just think that's a good pairing.
Anyone else? Okay, let's bring it to a vote. All in favor of Galen and Emily, raise your hand, say aye. It looks unanimous. Anyone opposed? No? Okay, congratulations, Emily and Galen. And so now, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to thank especially Emily and Galen also for doing a lot of the work that goes on in between the election and the first organizational meeting of the board. Where traditionally leadership from kind of both sides gets together and works out committee assignments. You guys did great work. You took the pulse of everybody, and I think we were able to find some committee appointments that everybody will, first of all, enjoy or ask for, at least first choices, maybe second choices. And also, we all strove as a group in the past few days to try and create some equity in the board and to give some leadership positions all around and not just in a one-sided way. That said, I will read out the committee assignments and then we can we vote on that? Yes. Yeah. And then we'll vote on that. Okay, so for curriculum and student development, I'll be appointing Stephen Pinn as chair, Kathy Miller and Jen Gordon. For facilities committee, Emily will chair that committee with Stephen Pinn serving on the committee and Galen sitting on the committee, Galen Colley. For finance committee, I'm appointing Galen Colley as the chair, Diane Infantine Vice as a sitting member, and Emily Rosenthal as a sitting member. For the personnel committee, naming Maureen Lewis as the chair, Kathy Miller as a sitting member, and Mary Ann Connolly as a member of personnel. And finally, the policy committee, naming Diane Infantine Vice as the chair, Maureen Lewis to sit on the committee, and Jen Gordon to sit on the committee. And then finally, the Learn Liaison, we'd like to appoint Mary Ann Connolly It's kind of an honor that a lot of we usually give to a new person on the board because you can learn a lot that way very quickly. That's great, and thank you. And we had a communications committee that we're allowing to sunset, largely because we have had some time to work with Zoe Roos, who is the district communications director. And I think the board has expressed a lot of confidence in allowing her to serve kind of in that function for us as well, to help us with communications that need to go out. And traditionally, the board chair also serves as a mouthpiece for the whole board. So I'll be taking on that role, and along with a lot of support and help from Dr. Cook and Zoe Roos. Bruce, thank you. So I'd like to call the nominations or appointments of committee heads and committee men and women to a vote. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, and no abstentions. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. And we certainly look forward to working with all of you to do the best we can to support you and to bring forward some good work from the committees. And committee structure is very important to the board. A lot gets done at the committees and only when it comes to the board for a vote. So thank you for stepping up. Thank you all for agreeing to take positions so we can have an equitable distribution and start off on a good foot together. Thank you. All right, so is there anybody from the public that would like to say anything? Seeing nobody. Oh, yes, yeah. Wendy, is there anyone on Zoom who has raised their hand?
No one has their hands raised at this time.
Okay. All right, so now we'll adjourn the organizational meeting of the board. Thank you all very much, and I very much look forward to working with you all. All right, thank you. Congratulations.
No, I cannot.
I think so. So, bye.